Yes people, Chris back on your screens again. I'm going to be running you through my current accessory day. Accessory days are the unsung heroes of your training week. They're like the after credit scenes in the movie. Do you know like those, do you know the movies they throw in, or the little clips at the end of the credits? You could skip it, but if you do hang about for the credits and you do get the movie at the end, you get to that prestigious feeling knowing that the idiots that left 5 minutes ago will never get the privilege of watching those special 45 seconds. Think of it like this: if your main training days are the meat and potatoes of a meal, an accessory day is simply just the seasoning. And let's be honest, even though seasoning is optional, it's really a necessity because no one wants to be eating some bland ass chicken. So what's the plan today? We're going to be hitting the muscle groups that don't really get the love and attention that I would like to give them in my usual training session, i.e. the calves, the abs, the arms, and in this case, the posterior delt of mine. I will say though, an accessory day isn't anything fancy, and in its purest form is just an opportunity during the week to allow yourself to channel a little bit more volume into the muscle groups that are either lagging behind or the ones that you want to bring up yourself. So everyone's accessory day is going to be slightly different. This is just my one in the present day. Starting off the session, we're going to hit abs, and the reason I do the abs first is because if I don't hit abs now, there's about a 45% chance that I won't hit them later, and if I don't hit them later, there's a 100% chance I'm going to be absolutely raging when those summer months come around. First up, we have the cable crunch, because let's be honest, nothing screams functional fitness like getting on your knees and bowing down in a violent manner to the cable gods of which we stand before. The reason I have this one chosen is, one, you can progress it in a linear motion quite easily by simply just making the exercise heavier. So with a lot of exercises, you know, let's say an incline sit-up, you might have a 5 kilo plate, and then when you want to progress, the 5 kilo turns into a 10 kilo, and then the 10 kilo turns into a 15 kilo, and every time you progress, the variable at play is that the size of the resistance that you're holding begins to increase, making the exercise a little bit more difficult, but in all the wrong reasons. Following up from the cable crunches, we have our dear friend Russian twists. Now, these guys are an amazing exercise for enhancing the obliques of the core, and the obliques are just a fancy term from the side bits of your midsection. The only thing I want you to be cautious of when doing an exercise like this is something I see people get wrong quite often, is that they place the weights, they don't twist with the weights. So what I mean by this is if you get your resistance and you simply just place it to the side, as you can see, the front of my body is still facing forwards. That's not twisting at all. I'm simply just placing the resistance to the side. So best way I'll do it is have a look at the weight, keep looking at the weight, twisting all the way over. We're not looking to place it to the side. We're simply looking to rotate the body to the point of which I cannot rotate anymore, and then we go back and do it on the other side. You will actually feel your obliques or the side bits of your body begin to stretch, and that means you're doing a good fucking job. Last up on the core exercises, I've opted for a hanging leg raise. Nothing overly special or fancy about these ones, just make sure that you're not swinging with momentum and that you're allowing the abdominals to do all of the work. Next up on the list, we have our calves. Now, if skipping leg day is a crime, well, neglecting your calves is a federal offense. I like to do two variations. I do a standing variation as an absolute must, as according to Jeff Nippert and all the other science backlifters, standing calf raises optimizes the calf and has actually been studied to show that there's more muscle growth acquired with such exercise.
Scientists have recently discovered the standing calf raise is so insanely better than the seated calf raise.
Secondary calf exercise is something that doesn't look overly glamorous getting into. And to be honest, I used to laugh at people doing this exercise, but then I gave it a go, and ooh, the stretch on this machine is absolutely fantastic. When it comes to calf exercises, people will tell you the standing, the seated, the Smith machine is all bollocks. Your calf's job is to do this and this. So once you're performing an exercise that has that movement in it, under a load that can be progressed, chances are you're all right. You're going to grow those calves. For rear delts, I've chosen two exercises. We have the traditional face pull and we have the single arm rear delt fly. Not something I do that often, but it is something I haven't done in a while, and I'm just throwing it in for a new stimulus because, hey, why not? As you can see, as the accessory day goes on, the exercise choice and the muscle groups that we're training are getting more and more enjoyable, simply to allow myself to look forward to the better things and to save the best till last. Next up, we have the arms. Specifically, we're going to isolate the biceps first. When you're training biceps, there's not a whole lot of magic to it. Once you have a movement that looks like this, you're going to be fine. However, there's a few things I can get you to do to slightly optimize this movement, and it is simply by changing the wrist and or elbow position. So for instance, we're starting off here with a hammer curl. As you can see, my wrist is in what they call a neutral position. That is where my wrist is at, and that is going to activate the bicep in a slightly different manner to my second exercise, which is going to be a supinated easy bar curl. And as you can see, the wrist position has changed so that my palm's facing up, which is what supinated means, and that is going to allow me to hit, again, the same muscle group, the bicep in this case, in a slightly different way than before. And the final muscle group we're going to be hitting today is the other part of the arms, aka the tricep, saving the very best till last. For the tricep, it's less about the wrist position manipulation and more about the elbow position. The two exercises that I've chosen today are going to be the skull crusher and are going to be the tricep pushdown via the cables. The big difference between the two is where I put my elbow within the movement. With the tricep pushdown, the elbow is going to be beside my side, and with the skull crusher, the elbow is going to be in front of the body. Again, nothing overly magic or scientific about this, but simply moving these variables within a movement allows you to hit the same muscle group in a slightly different manner, giving you a little bit more gains in the long run. The skull crusher sounds like a fucking finishing move in Mortal Kombat or some shit. So just to recap what an accessory day actually is. It isn't an opportunity for you to ego lift. It isn't an opportunity for you to tell your mates you've got this God-given scientific recipe handed down by the bodybuilding gods. It's actually all about balance within the body. It's about chasing symmetry within your muscle groups. It's about providing attention to the muscle groups that get left behind in those bigger compound-filled days. And it's about making sure that the little muscle groups of which I know you're neglecting get the attention that they deserve. Sound, good luck.